The 10 steps of the procurement cycle. First, procurement planning. The first step involves assessing the procurement requirements at an enterprise level. The team evaluates demand projections from various verticals and analyzes the previous year's historical data expenses. Further, the current market trends are analyzed and risk assessed. Second, purchase requisition or indenting. Proper approvals must back any procurement activity as it involves an outlay of funds. The project head, the end user department and its head, and the budget approving authority must approve the purchase requisition. Third, identify suppliers. This step is critical as it involves selecting suppliers who fulfill the 5 rights objectives: right quality, right quantity, at the right time, right place, at the right price. It is crucial to assess the supplier's locations, whether registered with the organization, reputation and credibility, capability to fulfill the order reliably, response time to rush orders, and ethics. Some companies evaluate a vendor's sustainability quotient too. Fourth, float the RFQ. The request for quotations is floated to the list of suppliers shortlisted. The RFQ document contains all the necessary information required for a supplier to review and quote accordingly. The RFQ is issued when the company wants the lowest price for its requirements. Fifth, appraise the quotes. Once all the quotations are received, they are appraised based on the cost of procuring the item, freight charges, delivery terms, etc. A comparative assessment of the above parameters is tabulated for easy decision making. Sixth, negotiate and sign the agreement. On successfully completing the supplier evaluation, a list of vendors is shortlisted and called for further negotiations. Sometimes, organizations may appoint 2 or even 3 vendors to mitigate risks. A mutually agreed contract is then drawn up and signed by both parties. 7. Release purchase order. The purchase order is released to the supplier or suppliers once the agreement or a contract is signed. This document confirms the supplier or suppliers for the order. 8. Material receipt and quality check. On delivery of the material, a physical inspection is carried out. The item is checked for the correct part and the quantity is verified. The product is then handed over to the inspection authority for technical verification and quality as per the specification. The goods receipt note is created if the delivery is accepted. Any non-compliance based on the agreement is recorded and conveyed to the supplier. 9th, invoice approval and process payment. Once the delivery of goods is accepted, the 3-way matching process is carried out. The supplier invoice and packing list are matched with the PO for the terms and conditions and the GRN for checking discrepancies. If no distinction is observed, the invoice is approved and payment is released. And lastly, 10th, maintain records for audit. Maintaining all the documents, policies, budget approvals, RFQ, quotations, comparisons, PR, agreement contracts, PO, invoices, packing list, and GRN helps the organization in several ways. Supplier Performance Evaluation Checklist. Step 1. Establishing performance indicators. First of all, one should create an actionable supplier evaluation to finalize broad and detailed parameters. Without this, the steps that follow are meaningless or, in a worse scenario, could reflect wrong insights counterproductive to your business. Step 2. Classifying suppliers. To start comparing suppliers, start with classifying them into buckets of similar categories. One way to do this is by geography, and other way is by product types. Step 3. Centralizing and integrating data. 20% of suppliers usually result in 80% of business needs. However, your organization might have hundreds or thousands of suppliers across various functions. Bring all of them on one centralized portal. Consequently, a supplier evaluation tool like iPerform works very well for this. Step 4. Developing a solid evaluation approach. Above all, to develop a solid evaluation approach, Start with selecting a period and then move on to the method of evaluation. Few examples include supplier scorecards, contract management, Six Sigmas. Step 5. Collaborating with suppliers for review and feedback. Not all assessments need to be quantitative. Instead, constant supplier buyer collaborations can at times bring out the bottlenecks much more visibly. While it is essential to conduct regular meetings, it's also essential to pay attention to the opposite team. Due to feedback conversations, may roadblocks are eliminated. Step 6. Creating an actionable plan. Finally, it is time to create a feasible and actionable plan with ways of action for individual supplier relationships. Also, it is necessary to ensure action against your findings to ensure closing the loop on your evaluation efforts. Supplier performance, when done the right manner through the optimum combination of people, processes, and technology, work wonders. Furthermore, it helps identify performance gaps and devise strategies to plug them.